Hello and welcome to 8th grade ELA. I'm Mrs. Boyce and I am very excited to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and go over a few things with you in this video to help you have a successful year. Let's go ahead and start with my classroom mission. In this classroom, I ask you to allow the teacher to teach. That way, it allows the other students to learn and respect everyone and everything. Alright, let's just go over a bit of general 8th grade information. The 8th grade schedule. I know this is hard to see. You will get a copy of your own to staple into your agenda. But from 8 o'clock to 8:10, you will go to your locker. After you go to your locker, you will go to 2020. If you are not in the room by 8:10, you are late. Make sure to get your materials for first academic. From 8:10 to 8:15 are the announcements. After the announcements, 2020 will commence. After 2020 is over, you will go to Exploratory A. You will first drop your belongings off in First Academic, and then continue to Exploratory A and Exploratory B. At 10:24, you will be dismissed from Exploratory B to go ahead to your First Academic. This is not a locker break. First Academic is from 10:27 to 11:32. After First Academic, you will have another locker break. You will return your First Academic materials and take your second and third block materials out. You will then go ahead to Second Academic, which is from 11:35 to 12:39, and then report to your Third Academic. You will go to lunch from your Third Academic. You will not be dismissed to lunch until your teacher lets you go. Please make sure to leave your belongings in your Third Academic. Again, there is not a locker break. During lunch, it is expected for you to go to the restroom and get a drink of water. After lunch, you return to Third Academic at 1:08. Third Academic is from 1:08 to 2:13. After Third Academic, you have another locker break where you return your Second and Third Academic materials and get your Fourth block materials. After your locker break, you will go to Fourth Academic from 2:16 to 3:20. Students will be dismissed again to their lockers after Fourth Academic. Car riders will go first, and then bus riders will follow at 3:24. If for some reason I am not in my room at any time when it is scheduled for you to come to class, please wait in the hallway outside by the double doors as to stay out of the way of people in the hallway and their lockers. Students are encouraged to use the restroom before school, during lunch, and after school. Students are not to go to the restroom during class change. They are encouraged to go to class first, complete the warm-ups, and then ask at an appropriate time to use the restroom. The tardy policy. Your first tardy is a warning. Your second tardy is a warning. Your third tardy is a warning and a phone call home. Your fourth tardy is a lunch detention. And your fifth tardy will be a referral. The grading policy and grading scale has not changed since you've entered SJM in 6th grade. Grades are updated daily according to homework, quizzes, and tests. Each student will be given a number code that will allow them to find their grade. You can find your grade in PowerSchool. Every few weeks, grades will be posted in the classroom. Additionally, it is your responsibility to check PowerSchool to stay up to date with your grades. Okay, that was basic 8th grade information. Let's talk about some things specific to my classroom. The individual rights that you have in my classroom. You have the right to be safe in my classroom and on the school grounds. You have the right to be treated with compassion, to learn and to express your opinion, to be yourself and to be treated fairly, to hear and to be heard. I have 6 basic classroom rules. First, show respect to all people. Do not do anything to anyone else that you would not want someone else to do to you. This includes all students and adults. Be respectful to property. Do not take or touch someone else's property without asking. This includes other students and teachers. Listen when I am talking or another student is talking. It is very hard for you to hear what is going on if you are talking. Cell phones, iPods, MP3 players, PSPs, DSs, or any other electronic devices are not allowed in class. We will explore this rule further as the year goes on, as sometimes I ask you to bring in your tablets or your phones for us to do certain things in class. Please keep your hands, feet, and any other body part to yourself at all times. This means do not stick your feet out as someone is walking by in the aisle. Do not put your hands on someone else's desks. Do not braid other people's hair. You need to keep all of your body parts to yourselves at all times. And lastly, absolutely no profanity or harsh language in this classroom. This is a safe learning environment. Consequences: a verbal warning, a lunch detention, removal of class privileges, change of seat, removal from the classroom, a phone call home, or any of the consequences can result in a behavior acknowledgement signature, which I will explain in detail in a moment, as well as all SJM handbook consequences. We also have rewards. Good behavior or going out of your way, doing something nice, or doing exceptionally well in class can result in a dojo point when we are using Classroom Dojo, class enrichment activities, a positive note or a positive phone call home, a piece of candy, or verbal praise. Do not ever ask me for a reward. A reward is a privilege and will be taken away if you ask me. Absent work. If you are absent, it is your responsibility to get your missed work. There is a filing folder for missed work. If you look to the side of the room where the agenda is, there is a filing folder for missed work. Please locate your missed work in the makeup work folder. Your name should be on it. Make sure that you read the agenda from the board for the day that you missed. If there is an assigned reading, it is your responsibility to make it up. If you look at the mini whiteboard next to the large board, there are 5 days. I write the agenda down every single day. If you are absent on a Monday and you return on a Wednesday, then when you come over to this side of the classroom, you will look up at the agenda, write down the 2 days of the agendas that you missed in your planner. That way you know exactly what you need to do to make up work. Completed absent work will be turned into the late crate with an attached slip. Please turn to the back of the room and look at the blue late crate. There is a slip that you need to staple to it. Please also remember that work should be completed in a timely manner. Okay, talking about late work. Any work that is turned in after the initial due day. This includes absent work. All late work is turned into the blue late crate into the correct class file. It is so important that you turn it into the late crate and not to one of the class boxes. If you put it in one of the class boxes, I promise you I won't find it and you will end up getting a 0 on the assignment. It is very, very important you turn your work into the late crate with a late slip. All late work must have a late note stapled to it with the date the assignment is being turned in. It is extremely important that you write down the date that you turn the assignment in. You do not need to have a parent signature. Homework. Homework is not an optional assignment. If I assign homework, I have the expectation that you will come to the class the next day with it completed. In order to reinforce what we do in class, and sometimes in order to be able to participate in class, homework must be turned in on time. Homework affects your grade, your test scores, your knowledge, and the entire class. If you look in the back of the room, I have a poster that says homework rate 100%. The first class that has all of its students turn in their homework on time 5 days in a row will win a class prize. The class prize is to be determined at the time of completion. Materials. I have 6 labeled bins with materials that I share. I have 3 staplers that I share. I have 28 highlighters that I share. I have pencils, pens, and colored pencils that I share. Please be gentle and caring to my materials so everyone can use them. Remember, you are responsible for your class materials. I will go over in a little bit who is responsible for what. However, if you destroy my materials or don't use them properly, I have the right to take them away, and once they're gone, they are gone. Alright, that was a little bit about my class. Let's go ahead and talk about class procedures. Here are your class procedures. Entry procedures. Greet your teacher when you come in the door. Enter the room in an orderly manner with all necessary materials. Sharpen pencils and gather any supplies needed for class. Quietly sit in your assigned seat. Place homework on your desk and begin daily warm-up. During class, follow all directions, apply all life skills, and do your personal best. Exit procedures. Listen for permission to gather materials. Pick up any debris around you. Straighten the desks in your row or group. Please remain still and listen carefully for announcements and dismissals. Leave only after I dismiss you. Place any trash in the appropriate containers as you leave. In all my years of teaching, I have never forgotten to dismiss a class, so please wait for my signal until it is time to pack up and leave. Okay, I do have an attention procedure. I will raise my hand and say, "Can I have your attention, please?" or "I am ready." You will follow by immediately being respectful and getting quiet. Procedures for leaving during class. If it is necessary for you to leave class for any reason, restroom, nurse, water fountain, please observe the following procedures. Turn to the back of your agenda and fill out one of the lines on the hallway passport page. Please include the date, time, and destination. You cannot leave class without your agenda. Use your life skill of common sense and wait patiently for an appropriate time to ask to leave class. If I am in the middle of a lesson, that is not an appropriate time. The middle of this video is not an appropriate time. I will then initial your agenda if I feel it is an appropriate time to leave. You also need to complete the sign-out log by the back door. It is important that you complete the sign-out log because if we have a fire drill, a tornado drill, or some other sort of emergency, I need to know where my students are at all times, and sometimes I forget who I send out of the room. If you do not want to complete the sign-out log, then you will not leave the classroom. Okay, if you feel absolutely sick to your stomach, please get up and go. Leave quietly and quickly. You will have to explain your exit to me upon your return to class. Library procedures. Remember, going to the library is a privilege. Line up silently by the lockers by our door. You will walk in a single file line. When you get to the library, please return your books, take a shelf marker, and look for a new book. If you are talking or goofing around, you will earn a lunch detention. Once you have found a book, sit and read it until dismissed. Fire drill procedures. Students will get quiet immediately and wait for the teacher to tell them to line up. The teacher will follow the students out to the exterior door at the end of the 8th grade hallway. Students will line up along the pavement quietly. I will then make sure I have all my students. Due to safety concerns, there should be no talking or horseplay during the fire drill. When you hear the fire drill sound go off, please don't start shouting or getting all crazy. We will line up once everyone is quiet and will get out of the room immediately. Okay, let's go ahead and take a short little break here. Please turn your attention to the real Mrs. Boyce for a short activity.